Okay, here we are. Our Gemara Shir, Baruch Hashem. Maseches Shabbos Daf Kuf Tes Zayin Omud Beis. We are in the Mishnah of Matzil and Tik HaSefer im HaSefer. Matzil and Tik HaSefer im HaSefer is where we are. This shiur is, we're learning first of all, Little Nishmas my father Menachem ben Akiva. We are learning La Hatzlacha of all the soldiers, all the people who were Lolenu kidnapped and should come back home. That's Salah and that's Lach of Klal Yisrael. The parak we're learning is parak called Kisvei. The parak talks about what happens when there's chas v'shalom fire breaking on Shabbos, and we learned that one is allowed to save a Sefer Torah on Shabbos, even if it means that he would break Shabbos by taking the Sefer from the burning Reshus HaYochid, Shul, the house, into not Reshus HaRabim, into a place which is also Midarabonon to move stuff into, right? And now the Mishnah is elaborating even more. Yeah, let's see. Okay, says the Heilige Mishnah, Matzilin atika Sefer im HaSefer. When we take the Sefer Torah out of the shul or wherever it's Lolenu Sakon being burnt, you're allowed to take the Tikka Sefer together with it. In other words, the Sefer Torah can be taken with the Tik, the Paroiches, the cover of the Sefer Torah. You're allowed to take it with it. And the Ritva explains much later in the Sugya, it's the cover of the Sefer Torah that it's being escorted, so to speak, by the Sefer Torah. Okay, but by the tik. The tik itself is kind of giving the cover, the respect to the Sefer Torah. So even though we're adding an Isra over here, because really you're taking it into the Reshus not Me'urav, the Isra, you are increasing the Isra by, I'm sorry about that, increasing the Isra by adding more stuff to the Sefer Torah, that's still allowed. The tik tefillin and tefillin. The same applies to tefillin. Not only the tefillin you can also take the tik of the tefillin, the bag of tefillin. You don't have to take the tefillin out and then run with them outside. You can leave them in the tik, in the bag, in a nice velvety bag, because this is how the tefillin is supposed to be. It's respect for the tefillin. This is something we didn't say yesterday. The afalpi shesh b'sochen mois. Wow, here comes big news. Not only that, even if there's some money inside the tik of your tefillin or the tik of the Sefer Torah, somebody put money inside. I'm not discussing now whether it's mutar or osir. That's another discussion in halacha. Let's say there is money there, so you have basically in the tik of the Sefer Torah, you have money and Sefer Torah, not by that order. You have Sefer Torah and money. Everything can be taken. So you have two issues. You're taking out into the place which is not me'urav, and you're also taking muktzah. And everything can be schlepped together, one big happy family. And the chiddush is, we're taking a piggyback, a ride. You didn't miss anything. We're doing Chazoran yesterday. But online, this is first time. Everybody online should stay online because this is the first time we have it online. Yesterday was a dress rehearsal. Okay? Where can you save it to? From Reshus HaYochid into where? Never to Reshus HaRabim. Do you believe that? You may have a Sefer Torah burning and not have it taken to Reshus HaRabim. Maybe you can do it by a goy or other things. But if there's no other choice, the Sefer Torah will be burnt and he won't break Shabbos from Yochid to Rabim. Unbelievable. It's very rare that would happen. Usually there would be a solution somehow. Move it to Kalman. I'm saying conceptually it's interesting to know. Yeah. Where do you save the Sefer Torah from the fire? So the Mishnah discusses, but that's not the discussion today. Lemavui she'enu mefulash. Either you can move it to a street, a smaller street, a mavui, which is not mefulash. It is not through and through. It's a dead end. It's a cul-de-sac. It's a dead end, and you move it there, and that's not a real Reshus HaRabim. It's closed on all three sides, but there's no proper eruv. Yeah. Ben Besel mefulash. Ben Besel says you can even move it to a street which is through and through, but there is some kind of eruv there. It's not a real Reshus HaRabim. There's an issue there with the lechi koiro. Again, as I said, the second part of the Mishnah is not on the table today. Hopefully, there will be tomorrow. Okay? Beseder. 1 second, please. There's the Heilige Mishnah. Tono Rabbanon. So we gave the introduction. Let's give the introduction again. We all know that when you bring a korban on Shabbos and Yom Tov, so there are certain melachas deoraisa that you break. I'm not even reading the Gemara yet. Let's have the introduction. When you bring an oila on Shabbos, musaf, right? Oilas tmidim, oilas musafim. What do? Well, before you bring up the imurim, which is already also, if not being a korban, with isur deoraisa burning, right? You have to flay the skin. You have to skin the animal. Obviously, take out the imurim, right? Oilo, you don't take the imurim. By oilo, you burn everything. Seder shkoyach. But the ma'aseh, you do hefshet. Yeah, always. Who gets the skin? The koyanim. Now, when you mafshit, it's an isur d'oraisa. One with the 39 of smolocha, mafshit. To skin an animal, a dead animal, to take away the skin, to flay the skin, is an isur d'oraisa. Why is it allowed? Okay, it's korbanos. Very nice. The korban, pushes away. It's the issur of mafshit. That's when everything is nice and normal. When is a very abnormal day of the year? I think it's going to happen this year. Erev Pesach Shechal B'Shabbos. Erev Pesach Shechal B'Shabbos, yep, you bring a korban Pesach. Things are complicated. Why? But really, korban Pesach is a very, very two-folded korban. It's a very divided korban. What you do during the day, which is the Erev Pesach, what do? You do the hefshet. You bring the imurim, the kishkas, the imurim on the mizbeach, right? Then you wait till the night, which is Leila Seder. Then you have all the meat. You roast it only at night. You can't have it before. Only roasted, only at night. Right? The Pesach. So now, usually, what's the problem? Do everything. You flay, you skin, and you eat the meat tonight. Erev Pesach Shechal B'Shabbos, it gets tricky. Why? Because on Erev Pesach Shechal B'Shabbos, Erev Pesach, what do you do on Erev Pesach Shechal B'Shabbos? You have to bring the Erev Pesach, you bring Korban Pesach, you bring the Imurim onto the Mizbeach. What do you do with the meat? The meat has to stay there until the night. Yeah, the meat is not allowed to be eaten the whole day. Erev Pesach is not eaten during the day, only at night. The only Korban you can only start eating at night. So now, Pesach, you have to wait with the meat, right? Completely there, all there. Each chabur takes their own behema, and tonight they're going to have it. When it comes to mafshit the animal, let's play slow motion with the camera. When you mafshit and you start from the hind legs, so you mafshit and you basically skin it, you undress the skin. Now you get to the stomach. Take out the imurim. The imurim go to the mizbeach. Very nice. It's Shabbos. Are you allowed to do it? Of course. For Gavoiha, for Hashem, you're allowed to be mafshit and bring the imurim. If you want to continue to skin it, why are you continuing to take off the skin? Who's going to eat the rest of the meat, the chest and the head and the whatever? The people tonight, not Hashem, not the Mizbech. Are you allowed to keep skinning it? Are you allowed to keep removing the skin or not? Because how can you remove the skin if you're really doing it for regular people, you and I? Only tonight. Yes or no? Well, it's a machlikas. That's a question. I hope this was getting us into the business. Zog the Gemara, Tono Rabbanon. Abosol shechal yot b'Shabbos, 14th of you know which month. Arba'asar of Nisan that fell on Shabbos. Mafshitin es Pesach ad hechoze divrei Bishmal b'nei shel Rabbi Yochanan ben Broika. From now on, we'll just call him Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Yishmael says, as we are concerned, you're allowed to do the hefshet until the chest, hind legs, tishkalach, which is the imurim. You do the hefshet. Hey, stop right there. Take out the imurim. For Gavoya, for Hashem, you're allowed to do hefshet in order to access the inside, the imurim, carve out the imurim, put them in the mizbech, and life is good. Hey, but until the chest. When it reaches the chest, to be mafshit from the chest upwards, you're not allowed. Because that you're doing, for who are you doing this, mister? For who's going to have the meat which is under that skin of the chest? People, regular people, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, and Shprin Sabela. They're going to have that tonight in the Chabura of Pesach in the old city. But that's not a reason to do hefshet for regular guys. Although it's korban and it's kodesh, it's still not gavoya. So that doesn't justify hefshet. So says Rabbi Yishmael. The Chachamim omrim mafshitin skuloi. Chachamim, without telling us why, are telling us, no, you're allowed to be mafshid the whole thing. 1, 2, and the whole thing. You're allowed to be mafshid the ganze zach, because we're going to see why, but they're not concerned of the fact that the entire hefshit, including the chest, is really done for regular people. So doing afshoto is a doraisa. As you mentioned, Yaakov, yesterday, it's hachana, but it's even worse than hachana. It's mamash chil Shabbos doraisa. For who? For people who are going to eat it tonight? Yet Chachamim say it's okay. And the obvious question is, why? Fragt the Gemara, Bishlam al Bishmal ben Shal Bichan ben Broiko, according to the first opinion, Bishlam might make sense, or Bishmal makes sense to us, that is avid le tzorich gava, because I did already is avid le, once the tzorich gavoya, the need of the korban was met, I managed to do what? To serve the gavoya by skinning what's needed for gavoya, and I took out the kishkas from the stomach, and that was a good reason to skin the animal. Stop there. Slow motion. Stop. Don't continue, because from now on you're not serving gavoya. You're serving people. I know that it's a mitzvah to eat korban pesach, but it doesn't. It's not justifiable to mechalel Shabbos for that, right? Maybe you drive your car on Shabbos to shul. Gavoya to daven. No, don't do that. Ela l'rabbono on my timer, as we already explained a few times. What's the Rabbanon's reason? Why do they allow us to skin the animal in order to basically serve people's needs after Shabbos? As I said, it's one answer that's going to be divided into two. Says Rabbi Bar Bachana Yochanan. It says in the Pasuk, it says in the Pasuk, Kol Poel Hashem Lemaneu, Mishlei. Kol Poel Hashem Lemaneu. Everything Hashem does is for His own purpose. What's everything Hashem does is for His glory, for His purpose. So we're going to we compared it, and I Baruch Hashem, I like the comparison we saw in Daf Nun Aleph. We saw that we saw in our Masechta a long time ago that a person is supposed to wash his hands and his face and his feet in honor of Hashem. Kol Poel Hashem Lemaneu. What does washing my face and my hands have to do with Hashem's glory, Hashem's Laman Hashem? Yes, Rashi said there, even mundane things like human beings' appearance are really kavod shamayim, because people walk around the street seeing people nice and clean and aesthetic. He would bless Hashem that Hashem created nice people. He created brios toivos. It's such a bracha. You make when you see very good-looking people. I don't do it today. Yeah, there is a bracha, of the Shabbat brios toivos. So the Ma'aseh Poel Hashem Lemaneu sometimes means that even the needs of regular people indirectly are also there for the glory of Hashem. How that plays over here, we're going to see. But somehow we're going to see now how we see that even the fact that I need to eat a korban also is considered the kavod of Hashem, which justifies the hafshata. That's outline. How does that work? The hocha over here, my lemaneu ika. Which glory of Hashem, which kavod of Hashem is there over here? Right? Exactly. How does it glorify Hashem when I skin the animal of the? I'm sorry about that. Of the korban pesach. Machlokes Rav Yosef and Rove. That's quite rare, right? It's not Rav Yosef and Rabbah, it's Rav Yosef and Rove. A Rov and a Talmud arguing. Rav Yosef Amar Shelo Yasriach. Rav Yosef says, listen, I don't want it to smell bad. I don't want to smell. Says Rashi Shelo Yasriach, Sha'oir mechamimoy umasrichoy. In other words, when it's not completely out, when it's not completely skinned, the animal is half skin, half in the skin causes it to warm up, it heats it up, and that chemical reaction causes it to stink, and that aims the kvoid lios pras oichle shulchon megual. It's not the kavod of Hashem that people who eat off His table, because it is kochim. The Pesach you're going to eat tonight, eating off the table of Hashem. There's a concept which appears all over Zvachim, Shulchan Gavoya. It's like a king invites you to his meal. He has the main thing, and he's also giving you. So Megual, disgusting, things that are eaten by Oichle Shulchan Hashem should not be bad smelling, and the bad smell would happen if you leave the skin on. This is what Rav Yosef believes. Now, Rove says another reason where are we not respecting Hashem by leaving the skin on. Says Rove, Shelo yu kodshe shomayim mutolin kenvela. The kodshe shomayim, this is lamaisa kochim. Kochim kalim, it's only eaten by people, tonight, papi. But lamaisa, at the end of the day, this is really kodshe shomayim. And when you have them half skinned, half not, it's very, very not aesthetic. and it looks as if it's lying there like a nevela. It looks like some dead body. Yeah, even in a butcher shop, they try to make things look aesthetic. Like they're not going to have even the butcher shop. It's not the most. It's not the most aesthetic place in the world. It's not where the chassan are going to be. But I'm saying right. But lamaisa, they try to make things look a bit elegant. They have an animal half skin, half not skin. Nicht menschlich. It's not nice for a kodesh shemayim. That's not even to do with people. The mere fact that kodesh shemayim lying like that, nicht shame. It's not a nice thing, and therefore you should what? Make up your mind. Either it should be completely unskinned or completely skinned. It can't be completely with the skin on, because you have to take out the imurin. So once you started with the flaying, you have to flay the whole thing and have it there as completely skinned bare. That's better than having half-half. What about the fact it's going to smell? Says Rashi, Rava is not concerned until the night. Rava says mitzad the excuse my language, the stinking. Says Rava, I'm not concerned anything will happen till the night. Many times different people have different levels of concern. That didn't concern Rava. Now, my benayu. What is the practical nafkamina between Rav Yosef and Rove? Good with the chazor. Everything's coming back. My benayu, hika benayu, two practical differences. One, the manach aptor de dahava. Let's say the animal, that half-skinned animal, is lying on a ptoiro. Ptoiro in Aramaic, we know, we had at the end of the first parak. Ptoiro is what? Ptoiro is a table, a golden table. If it's monach on the golden table, there were tables in the Mishkan, golden tables in the north, a whole set of them, a whole line. So let's say you put it nicely on a golden table. As much as it's not so nice that a half skinned, half not skinned, it balances it. It's it's saving grace. The fact that it's on a golden table doesn't look like it's lying like an avela. So according to Rava, it's okay. Rava is worried about aesthetics. If you're on a golden table, then Enochinami makes it look better. That's like mechaper. According to Rav Yosef, who cares? It's still gonna, smell. It's gonna get too hot and verstunk. So according to Rav Yosef, it's not good. Third Dav is not a solution. A golden table. According to Rav, it is. Inami, or an opposite now. Yoima de Istana. Yoima de Istana, which means it's a day of the northern wind. The northern wind is like the wind of perfect weather, which means that it's like in a fridge. It's not going to smell. According to Rav Yosef, Rav Yosef, great. If it doesn't smell bad, because there's the perfect air condition, right? Very nice. You can leave it half-skinned, right? Even according to, right? Leave it half-skinned, even according to Rabbanon. In Rabbanon now, yeah? But shaken, according to Rava, he won't help because it doesn't look nice. It's on the floor. So what's going to happen, says the Ritva later on, I'm preparing a little bit for the second part of the sugya, when the roller coaster is going to go, haha. So basically, what would be, according to Rabbanon, if it's a cold day, not too cold, just the right temperature, a cold day, and it's on a golden table? Great. Then of course, the Nekula you can leave it half-skinned, because it's also respectably, it's respectably done, and also it's not going to stink. So then, even according to Rabbanon, you can leave it half-half. So then they would agree with Rishmol. Okay, just a side note that there could be such a reality according to them. Yes. Jason, there's no. So you're mentioning a good point. So Rabbi Ram is mentioning a point, and that is that B'sar Kodesh would never smell in Beis Mikdash. And here we are concerned about the smell. So the truth is that I think it was only by Sosh, not by Sheni. Pretty sure about that, but that will be. I'll blin at a look into it. I think this is by Sheni here. Now, Frag the Gemara, the Rabbi Shmuel, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or so lines from bottom of the page. Frag the Gemara, the Rabbi Shmuel b'no shel Birchon ben Broiko. Now the ball is back to him, to Rabbi Shmuel. Hi, that concept of Po'al Hashem le'maneu, the pasuk of what's Po'al Hashem le'maneu? You have to show respect to the korbanos. My avidlei. How does he learn this pasuk? Now the Mefarshim explain. It's not exactly this pasuk is a pasuk you have to learn a drosh like in the Torah. It's a pasuk in Mishlei. They mean a concept. Don't you, Rabbi Shmuel, also think that you have to show some respect to the korbanos? In other words, basically, what do we have over here? What's Yiddishkeit all about? Not all about. What happens many times in Yiddishkeit? You have to fight between good and good. You have two good values right? That conflict. One good value here is Shmirat Shabbos, very, very good, important value. The other one value is maintaining the dignity of the korbanos. Don't hear Bishmol B'Noshel B'Chaberka, you're very machmir on Shabbos. Leave it there. Maybe it will stink, maybe it will be respect. I don't care, Shabbos, right? That's what Bishmol says. Doesn't he also have some kind of flexibility regarding Shabbos in order to show respect to the korbanos? Maybe if he doesn't have, it's fine, but let us know. Answers the Gemara, he does have, what is that? Very nice, which means if a Bishmol B'nai Shal B'rechem B'rechem wanted to be a real frumi and only care about Shabbos and not Korbanos, he would be even more machmir. You know what he would have said? Listen, don't take out Bichlal, don't do any hafshata, just make a hole, and carve out the imurim while the or is on the animal. He does allow you to skin half an animal and then take out the imurim, including the back, including the feet. He does allow you to do a pshoto, half the body, to take out the imurim. If you wanted to be really, really machmir on Shabbos, he will tell you zero pshoto, zero tolerance. Leave the whole animal unskinned, I mean with the skin on, right? Take out the imurim, put them on the mizbeach, right? And then the rest of the pshoto, I don't know, do later. Do later. Do it with Shabbos with your family. Yeah. The fact that he allows you to do half the hafshata, that shows you that he does care also about the dignity of the korban. Frag Digmar, my timer. Why? Meaning, why would that be disrespectful to the korban to take out the imurim? Because of hair. We know what is korban pesach? Very hairy. It's either wool of the sheep, very hairy, or the wool, a bit of wool of what? Of the goat. If you carve out the imurim while the skin is on, some of the hair will stick to it, and the imurim will be with a bit of hair here and there. It won't be nice. And that's why he does allow you a little bit of afshata in order to make sure that the imurim are coming out of a skinless, smooth meat, and that means they come up to the mizbeach clean and nice with no thicky hair, and that's good. But the rest, to be mafshit from the chest onwards, chilul Shabbos. The El Bishmo starts screaming Shabbos. Well, Chachamim say no. Chachamim say we allow you to do the rest of the Afshata because we also care about the fact that the korban should look nice, or the fact that we don't want the meat to smell bad, not even because it will go bad because people will get stomachache. I showed you the Rashi. It's not kvoidoi that the meat eaten by people should not smell nice, even if it's not mamish, 10 days past expiry date, even if it's edible, but it's not mechudik that people should eat from meat that's not really nicely preserved. That's why I take off the skin. On that, the Gemara is asking, and I'm very happy that we gave the explanation yesterday. What did the friends, says Rashi, the friends are the opponents. What did the friends, meaning the halachic opponents of Bishmoel, what did they reply to him? And I'm asking you, what do you mean? We just heard the replies. What did they tell you yesterday? This is all very nice. Chachomim are giving us an idea, a very nice hashkafic, ideological idea, right? It's very interesting, nice idea. Be Mechalel Shabbos. Okay. Be Mechalel Shabbos and do the Afshata, even though it doesn't push away Korbanos, not Korbanos, because we want the people who eat the Korban, to eat something respectable. I gave an example yesterday. Our neighbor in Tel Aviv, she's very old. She said, Chiloni, all of them were secular people, very nice people. And she said, I'm driving on Shabbos because I'm doing Kibbudim. No, what do you say? No, she was really Tmimisli. She wasn't reformed. She didn't know. She said, I'm driving on Shabbos. It's a mitzvah, so it's okay. Is she right? I don't think so. She's driving to Pesach Tikva. No. It's very nice. Your idea is nice, but at the end of the day, there's no halachic framework like that. The question is, it's very nice that Chacham have the general idea of Shabbos being nidche because we want people to treat the korban of the people, we'll eat later respectfully. But do you have a precedent? Do you have a halachic framework where it's working by? Yes or no? It's not enough to give me general ideas. Show me Kabbalot. Show me real makor source, and that's a question, Rabbana, now. And the answer will come very, very clear from our very own Mishnah. Now making the shidduch between this whole business of Pesach to our own Mishnah. Oh, Hachikam, this is what Chachomim would tell him. Im atzilin tika sefer im a sefer, lo nafshit as a pesach me'oiro, yopa, which means, just like we see that the bag, the paroiches, whatever you want to call it, the Torah's case, yeah, is what is being saved with the Sefer on Shabbos. What is the Sefer? The Sefer is Torah Gavoya. Sefer Torah, Sefer Torah. Of course, you take it out where to the Mavur, which is not exactly a great place to go to. From Reshus HaYochid to this kind of maybe let's call it Carmelis for the sake of our Ochet Shenu Mureves, yeah. You're allowed to take the Sefer. Hey, who's taking a ride here? Mr. Tik. The Tik Sefer is not as holy, but the Paroch is right. The Torah, how do you call it in good? The Paroch is the Torah's cover. The cover of the Sefer Torah. If it falls on the floor, you fast? No. It's not nice. No. The cover of the Sefer, that velvety thing or the wooden thing, it's called the Sefer Torah, right? And look what happens. Hey, what do? You also save him together with the Sefer, and you take it out to a questionable place, because he's piggybacking, he's taking a ride on the Sefer. So too, lo nafshit as a pesach me'oiroi, want to do the same, since, in other words, if in theory there was a pshata of an animal that's done from A to Z only for people, of course we wouldn't allow it. We wouldn't have allowed it. That's like driving on Shabbos to my mother. But since the very same animal, he started to skin it for Hashem, just continue 2-3 more seconds of motion to agav urche, take a ride, and also respect the people who are secondary to the korban. It's a very nice comparison. Our meat that we're going to eat tonight, which is for people also kadosh, is like the porachas of the Sefer Torah. So we did find such a structure of something super holy that you're allowed to be Mechal Shabbos for, and on that takes a piggy ride, something which is connected but less holy, the Sefer Torah. Very nice. So too, the korban of Hashem, that's like the Sefer Torah, the Imurim, that's a stomach. You can continue the same mahalach and continue the same afshata to the second fiddle, which is the bosser of the people who are going to eat it. That's like the tick of the Sefer Torah. That's a structure. Okay? That's Baruch Hashem. Over one hurdle. There's so much more here. There's like insane amounts of ritva here. And I said to him, 2 prokim before he started this year, because there's a lot of intricate details here, and hopefully we're going to get it step by step. So far, so good. Midami, how can you compare it? Chachomim, no. Midami, how can you compare the two? Why? Hossam, over there, tiltul, ochom elocho, which means over there we're talking about carrying. Over here we're talking about Isra deoraisa. What kind of tiltul we're talking about? I want you to realize at this happy note, the Gemara ignores the fact that there's also money inside. We're not talking about it. Yeah, in the Mishnah we said you take the tik with the Torah with coins, which complete muktzah. That's not being discussed yet. We're not on purpose. We do one thing at a time. The Gemara is asking as follows: what's the problem with taking the Sefer Torah or the tik? Well, obviously you're taking it where? Says the Ritva, Ramban. They all say you're taking it to a questionable place. Oh, over there. What do you mean tiltul? Tiltul doesn't mean muktzah, says the Ritva. He gives us 3 reasons why we call tiltul taking out to the street, which is only also the Rabbanon. It's a chotza shenu moreves. So over there, when the entire Isser, the worst point of Isser there is what? Isser the Rabbanon. It's not even a Carmelis. We'll see later. It's a chotza shenu moreves. It's a Isser the Rabbanon. So of course there you take a ride, because the whole big Isser, even if you would have taken only the Tika Sefer, even if you would have taken your shoes and socks, you're taking it to where? And also the Rabbanon. So there I can understand this nice idea of one Kodesh giving a right to the less Kodesh. But here, it's an Isur D'Oraisa. Hafshata of a korban is Isur D'Oraisa, as bad as lighting fire. Rashi points out here that it's one of the 39 melachas. Hashta melacha gmura. Hafshata mavis melachos. Mafshit is one of the 39. So just because something works the Rabbanon, it doesn't mean it works the D'Oraisa. So we found that framework, that kind of structure of the choshuv one, you over an isser, and agav that, the less choshuv, that's very nice. Maybe that's only true in the Rabbanon. You are copying and pasting it to the Oraisa? Excuse me. Next thing, gonna drive your car to Petach Tikva? What's next? Yeah, it's not the same. Now, why is it called tiltul? He brings three reasons, and but it means tiltul as taking outside. It's not muktzeh because there's no muktzeh here. The sefer and the tik are not muktzeh. Not muktzeh. We're not talking about money. I'm saving you trouble now. Are you good? Yeah, that's what I want to say. No, it's not. The issue is that later we'll talk about the money. One thing at a time. Believe me, everything. Bez Hashem. Okay. I answers the Gemara. Yeah, yeah. Ibn Chamtani. Akiva made an excellent point here. Excellent point, Akiva. Shkoyach kol hakavod. Ritva does mention at some point here that the reason why, that we'll mention later though, it's a bit jumping the gun, but it's very good to the end. Ritva says, why is it really that the Sefer can be taken with the Sefer, that the tik can be taken with Sefer Torah? Because really the tik is the covet of the Sefer. That's another reason to differentiate here. We'll discuss it later. Very good. The reason why I can take the tik with the Sefer, why don't you take the Sefer out of the bag and then take it to the street and you save yourself Isurim? Because taking the Sefer Torah in its case gives more respect to the Sefer Torah. Beautiful. Very good. Now how that plays here, we'll see later. Yeah. So even though there's Dleika, it's not going to happen in 2 seconds. You still have time to manage. You take the sefer with the tik. You don't take it out of the tik. Why are you taking it with the tik? Because the tik gives more dignity to the sefer. It's dressed and not, so to speak, undressed. Very good. But Lamaisa, all very nice. But again, what's the question? How can you compare the Rabbanon to the Oraisa? Maybe this business only is good enough for the Rabbanon, not the Oraisa. Answers the Gemara. Therefore, now we have a whole new business. Omar Avashi, betarti pligi. Wow. Really, the machloikis over here is a twofold machloikis. Pligi betiltul, pligi bemelocho, which means, let me explain. Machloikis number one is as follows. Abishmal says, listen, I don't believe in this whole business that the rest of the meat, which will be eaten by normal human beings, is considered as anything even, I mean, of course it's holy, to a point. It's not kvot shamayim, kol pel shem lemanel. He doesn't believe in that. It does not justify Hafshota. Hafshota is not done, finished. You do Hafshota halfway, and that's it, right? Chachamim say, no, you do the Hafshota all the way. That's a machlokes in Malacha. Malacha d'oraisa, obviously. Now, second machlokes is, what happens if the korban is only halfway there? Let's say the korban is half mufshak, half not. According to Bishmol, that's what it's supposed to be. According to Chachamim, that is also sometimes what happens, says the Ritva, when it's on a golden table, and it's a cold day. Right? Rabbanon also believe that can sometimes happen. Says Rabbi Shmuel, okay, not only I don't allow you to keep to continue the Hafshata, also it's muktzeh. Freeze right there. You're not allowed to touch that korban bichlal, muktzeh gomu. Well, first of all, in the Havamina, and I'm being helped a lot by the Ritva, thank you, Ritva, the skin itself is muktzeh. The skin of a sheep, I know you can do certain things with skin sheep, that's nice, but the skin of the sheep, while it's still an animal, is muktzeh. It's very nice to say you have skin sheep, I don't know, jacket or something, but that's only after it's been cured. It's not when it's just a skin. Disgusting. So because the skin is muktzeh, says Rabbi Shmuel, well, last time I checked, you're not allowed to move muktzeh and Shabbos, right? Okay, good. And therefore, even if the sun is on it, you're not allowed to move it mechama l'tzel. Something's a real muktzeh. You can't move it in order to save it from being damaged, right? Says Rabbi Shmuel, hey, don't be mafshit, that's Isur D'Oraisa. Be midarabanan, don't move it. Don't move, you're not allowed to move muktzeh. Chachamim say two things. First of all, feel good about it, just skin the whole thing, because that's kvot shamayim. And even if it's half-half, you are allowed to move it, which is a chiddush. Chachamim allow you to move around the animal, which is half-skinned, half-not, even though skin is otherwise muktzeh, they still allow you to do it. Why do they allow you to do it? Now, pligi betiltul, pligi b'melocha. Now, the comparison, this is extremely important. This is a very, very pivotal point in the sugya, my friends. Everyone has to now be with me. We all are anyhow with me, but I'm saying we are now not focusing on the malacha. From now till the end of the sugya, the focus will be only on the machlokes about tiltul. And that is what we're going to compare to our Mishnah, and that already solves the problem. We didn't like the fact, how can you compare the Raisa to the Rabbanon? And a Chinami. The Isur D'Oraisa we're going to leave on the side. and we will explain it later. I promise we will before the two dots. But the discussion from now on will be about the Rabbanon, meaning Rabbanon allow you to do an Isur de Rabbanon of moving Muktzeh, Muktzeh de Rabbanon, and they compare it to our Mishnah. And Rabbi Shmuel does not allow you to do the Tiltul Muktzeh, which is this skin, not nice looking skin with the animal. It does not allow you to move it, and it does not compare it to our Mishnah. That's just structure. I'm not saying anything. That's the misgeres. That's the what's gonna be here. The hachika amrile. Oh, now let's infuse some toichen to the discussion. This is what Chachamim told him when they compared the case of Pesach to the case of the burning shul with the Sefer Torah. If you're allowed to save Tika Sefer with a Sefer, l'nitatel or agav boso, shall we not also nitatel or agav boso? Very nice, Akiva, your big moment came. Very nice. If you're allowed to carry the Tik Sefer with a Sefer, and you're over Nisod Derabonon, Nisod Derabonon of what? Of taking to a non-mur of Chotzer, of the Tik. The Tik alone, can you move? Mapitom? No. You're allowed to move it together with the Sefer because it's giving respect to the Sefer. So to all Agav Boso. At this moment, we think that the Boso is not Muktzeh because it will be a Korban. They will change later. I don't know, maybe remember from yesterday. At this point, the Rita says we think that the Boso is not Muktzeh. Boso is good. You can conceptually bring it as a Korban. It will happen tonight, but it's not Muktzeh, Be'etzem. And therefore, the Or which is Muktzeh is something you're allowed to move it with the or because the or is also giving some, body to the boso. The or serves the boso like the take to the Torah. Just like that, you can move the rabbonon into where? Into a chotzer. It's not the same as the rabbonon. There it's reshus hayochid to a chotzer, and here it's muktzeh. But so what? You can compare one rabbonon to the other. Just like over there, it's like the meshoris, the servant of the king is being saved with the king. So too, the O, which is muktzeh, you're allowed to move it in order to save the boso. Let's say the boso is in the sun, and the sun is hitting the boso. And Chachamim are the ones who are concerned that it's going to smell bad with the sun. So I'm allowed to move it with the skin because the skin is the meshoris of the boso, and move them both together to a shady place, just like we see in the shul and Sefer Torah burning. Beautiful Rabbanon. Fred Gemara, it's not the same. Midomi, is it the same? And we have to finish soon. I'm not sorry that we're doing Chazor. It's taking slower because this sugi needs slow. It needs to drip, drop by drop. Midomi, is it the same? Let's explain. This is also interesting. Over there, at this happy note, the Gemara changes its mind. And the Gemara says that over there, the tik itself is basis to what? To something mutar, which is the Sefer Torah. The Sefer Torah itself is something which it's very justifiable to be taken to the street. Mashenken here nasa basis adover osu, meaning the meat over here is muktzih. Boom. The issue over there, it's very confusing. The word basis adover mutar, because over there the issue is not muktzeh. The Ritva deals with that. But the main point is, over here, you're telling me, the skin is really muktzeh. But Avrahmanos on the skin, he's serving the meat. And the meat is a good one. It's not a muktzeh. You're allowed to move it, right? I'm allowed to move the meat. And together with it, give some ride to who? To the skin. No, says the Gemara. The meat itself is muktzeh. Why? Says Rashi, when will we be able to eat this meat? Only tonight. Okay. Only tzali. So when this meat is raw, and on Shabbos, it's completely out of use. You're not going to eat it, so it's muktzeh. So it's a comparison. Your comparison does make sense. It's true over there. I believe your structure. Yeah, we can tell Rabbanon that maybe you can save one because of the other if the main one justifies the atzala. But the meat does not justify it either. The meat himself it's two isurim. It's a blind leading the blind. The skin, you save it because of the meat, because of melech ha'olam. The meat is also muktzeh. What are you helping me over here? So again, it does make sense what Rabbanon say. Boom, cliffhanger. It's 3 minutes to 10. Will they be able to go to sleep tonight? There won't be any azakah, no siren tonight, but we'll think of the sugya. The kids are tomorrow. No shiur, Rabbi Isai. I'm sorry to say this a little bit unilaterally. But Motzei Shabbos, the Shir Motzei Shabbos, I hope we can make it. If not, you can hear us on Zoom. Instead of tomorrow, when I will not be here, Sorry. So instead, Motzei Shabbos 8, are we going to see your good presents? Rabbeinu, 8 o'clock, Motzei Shabbos? 8-ish, 8:05?
Motzi Shabbos.
Yeah. There is such a night called Motzei Shabbos. It does exist. Saturday night. Well, yeah. 8:05, 8:08 after about. Thank you to Torah Anytime. Thank you to YouTube. And thank you to Ma'am Loez, their beautiful Achsania. Thank you, Atzlocho Brocho, to everybody here.